तमस्तु तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So, what we saw yesterday is that that which is self-revealing and what is revealed are not two independent order of realities. Self-revealing is the thing, and whatever is revealed is collapsible. It forms within forms within forms within forms. And what does it finally collapse into? Self-revealing. That's how you get Advaita, right? That's how you get limitlessness. That's why you get non-duality, right? So do you need to physically collapse the forms? No, you don't need to. That's why the whole process is cognitive. What does it mean? Neither you need to physically collapse the forms, nor the forms are collapsible because they are Ishvara Srishti. So you may not think about the forms. That doesn't mean forms disappear. You may have a silence in your mind and not think about anything. That doesn't mean the sun disappears and the moon disappears. It is still there, right? So what does it mean? The way Ishvara has made the creation is forms are incollapsible. Because you are doing the inquiry when the universe is manifest. And manifest universe means that there are forms. You can't separate yourself from forms. So only cognitively you need to figure out, even if you close your eyes, the body doesn't go away, the brain doesn't go away. The only thing that is happening is you are trying really hard not to think. That's all. So that means the forms will never go away. And what makes the form, which is Ishvara, also is irreplaceable. And the content of Ishvara, which is Satchit Ananda, is never changing. So all three are already there. You don't need to do anything with it. You can't. Even if you want to do something with it, you can't do. At the most, what you can do is manipulate your own mind, but that's irrelevant to the reality. Neither you can replace the form, nor you can replace knowledge and power, nor you can replace or change the fact that there is existence and awareness upon which everything is dependent. So what does it mean? In this world, all three are given to you, mixed up together. And you cannot physically separate. What do you need to do? You need to use your capacity to discriminate with the help of Shastra, and you need to figure out what is what. That is clarity. That is what we call being wise. You see the realities all the way and what is what without mixing up or getting confused. That's called wise person. It's not like some imagination, he's doing this and is experiencing this and there is bliss and all. This is all just human mind imagining things because they are unable to comprehend what Shastra is talking about. So we saw that the revealed and self-revealing reality, they are not two independent things, right? So, and then we talked about the fact that how do you get to know this Atma? So just merely reciting the Vedas, not just memorizing, certain terms or certain shlokas from Shastra, is not going to do the job. You just have some things floating in your memory. That doesn't mean things are assimilated, things are put in the right place, and its connection with everything is seen clearly. So I have people who studied with some other teachers, and they all know all the technical terms, upadhi, all this they know. It's floating in their mind. Neither they know exactly what it means, nor exactly do they know what is exactly the place of these terms in the whole vision. So after they studied with somebody for 15 years and then they ask me, what is upadhi by the way? What it means is, the terminology is floating, it gives a semblance of knowing, but you don't quite know what exactly it means. So this is what we call, deepening the knowledge and making it clear. So this is what we said, mere repetition, mere memory, then what? Doesn't get you there. But that doesn't mean those things are unimportant. Recitation has its own place, memory has its own place, and that means important things which are necessary but not sufficient. The Shruti doesn't want to say it's not important. It is important, but only that. Because it is important, we tend to get carried away and we lose perspective. So that is necessary but not sufficient. That is the message. Right? It doesn't mean, forget about memory. Shruti is saying memory is not going to give you the final knowledge. That's not it is. Right? So this is the verse. Then what gets you there? This is when it says Yam Esha Vrunute Tenala. What does it mean? You have to choose to know it, but not choose to know it academically. Because you are not here to study a model of creation. You are here to free yourself from sense of limitation. It's very different. And free yourself from suffering. So this knowledge can never be absorbed as you sitting, like you sit in math class and figure something out. And you say, this makes logical sense. This is not a knowledge like that. Because the subject matter is not that there is some Brahman, which is the truth of everything. And you intellectually say, logically there is no other way. The knowledge is, I am Brahman. This is the reality which is shining so clearly in your head. This is who you are. There is no mistake after that. It's not, I forgot. I have to keep reminding myself. There is no such thing. I am Brahman is crystal clear. You need to remind yourself, I shouldn't forget that I am the body, or whatever you are thinking. Is it an effort? The question of do I know it or not, or do I have to regain it, that disappears because it's owned up as your own truth. There is no question of the individual who's inquiring. Individual has seen one's relativity and seen one's truth as the content, which is the content of everything that exists. So this is what it says, choosing to know Atma. And what does it mean? It is freeing your eye from limitations. That is called choosing to know Atma. Approaching Shastra with the right attitude and for the right reason. And not just academic interest. So this is what we saw. Now, he talks a little bit further about what are the other qualifications which are required. And that goes very well with chapter 12 of that I do in the evening. Look at this. Na virataha dushcharitat na ashantaha na asamahitaha na ashanta manasaha va api prajnanena enam apnuyat. What does it mean? This knowledge is not available to, look at this. Who can read this? The next verse. Yeah.
Neither one who has not withdrawn from bad conduct, nor one who lacks mastery of the senses, nor one who lacks mastery of the mind, nor one who is not integrated can attain itself through knowledge.
Okay. So look at this. The person who is not withdrawn from bad conduct. Now, what does bad conduct mean? Now we have seen Bhagavad Gita. So you formulate in your own words, what does not given up bad conduct mean? What does it mean to you?
Going against laws of nature.
Right? So that means it's not something called bad, but your inability to follow dharma for one reason or the other. Either your pressures are too many, or what, sometimes you just don't have enough clarity. Even if you have the right intentions, you are operating from some principle which doesn't allow you to see things clearly. So for whatever reason, you are unable to do the right thing. That means still growth is required because your mind is not able to assess more or less, right, what is to be done and then do what needs to be done. So that means that level of accuracy, that level of management of Raga Desha, that level of mastery over mind is required, right? Because the same mind which is conducting oneself in the world is listening to Shastra. So you can't have a Shastra mind which is totally imprecise when it is dealing with the world, and the same mind when it listens to Shastra is all very clear. It's not possible. So this is why this clear mind and clear mind here in terms of ability to do and assess the right thing, that is emphasized, right? So then the one who has lack of mastery over senses. What does that mean? That senses, when they come in contact with sense objects, they create certain pressure. You love this, This is how Swamiji used to say that you fall in love. Now suppose you are totally objective about a person. Who will fall in love? Nobody will fall in love. You need to, wow, this person is amazing. Right? No person is amazing. Right? And then, oh, this person will fulfill all my needs. Finally, I found some soulmate. You live with that soulmate for 1 year. And you're searching for another soulmate. What it means, it's all fantasy. Exaggeration. The mind exaggerates. So Swamiji said, Ishvara is so clever that they put skin. If you had no skin covering up, you would be seeing the liver, the kidney, all your the organs doing the job, the blood flowing, the water flowing. Who will fall in love with whom? But it's all there. It's but nicely covered up with the skin, right? And then you say, oh, so handsome. Right? So this is how it is. This is how it is. So what does it mean? The senses come in contact with the objects and they create pressures. This is how Ishvara keeps you going. For how many lifetimes? Lifetimes after lifetimes. It creates fancy and it creates pressure. Go for it. Then exhaust it. Then something else is fanciful. And then drop that. Then something else. And this is how you keep going. So this is why that. What does it mean? Withdraw your sense objects, the sense organs from sense objects. You don't need to withdraw anything. You just need to bring objectivity. And you can like things. It's not like you have to just totally neutralize all your likes and dislikes. That would imagine if you had absolutely no preference about anything in this world. How boring life will be. Right? So that means what I grew up in India and I love idli for breakfast, and Surya grew up in France and he loves possum for breakfast. Do you need to give it up and be indifferent or whatever comes? It doesn't matter. We are all one. Everything is one. I'm attribute free Atma. I have no preferences. It's all somebody who doesn't understand is still confused and mixing up everything. This person is talking. That's why it seems so artificial and so forced. Not real. What it means is natural preferences are part of Ishvara creation. Somebody has more aptitude towards math, somebody is more artistic, somebody is both. And is somebody who chooses professions like architecture. It requires some scientific engineering mind, but it also requires great sense of aesthetics. You need to build beautiful things. You all have all these differences which are not, nobody, imagine if we had absolutely no preferences. We will not be able to do anything. In fact, Ishvara in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that what all of these differences that people have are not just something which are their own fancies. This is how the world works. Somebody wants to be an engineer. This is how the bridges get built. Somebody wants to be an architect. This is how the buildings get built. Somebody wants to be an artist. This is how you get everybody, the whole society goes and entertains themselves. Somebody wants to be a biologist. That's how you get medicines or whatever you will get. So what it means is, by pursuing their own self-interests, which are all different, things get done in the world. So this simple, basic person, as long as we are talking about the person and not the final reality. When Swamiji is talking about the basic person, he is not talking about identical persons. Persons can never be identical. Each one is empirically different, and this is where you see the ingenious nature of Ishvara. No repetition. For how long is the creation? For millennia. There is no complete replica. Look at the creativity. Within the same range, infinite variety of differences. So when we are talking about this basic person, we are not talking about some robotic person with no preferences. Because as long as it is a person, each person is different from the other. Each one, this is why the basic person that he is talking about is an empirical person. Who has to play different roles? Do all of us have to play the same roles? No, our roles are different, our aptitudes are different, we are placed differently. And that placement also changes over a period of time. Suppose you are a head of a company. For how long? For 10 years, not forever. That role also changes. For now, you are head of the company. After 20 years, you are not head of the company. And that everybody is not head of a company. Do you understand? The basic person he is talking about is not some uniform basic person that he is talking about. As long as he is talking about the person playing role, he is talking about empirical person, individual. Then why is he saying that person is so entangled in the roles and has no distance with different roles that the person has to play? So what is Swamiji saying? Come back to that basic person who is playing different roles. But your roles are different from my roles. My roles are different from somebody else who is the president of a country. They're not identical. But more and more distance you have with the roles, less and less entanglement you have with the roles. In fact, you don't lose yourself through the roles and you're able to play the roles to the best of your ability. It flows from clarity. You don't get completely carried away with any role. That is the center that you're talking about. And that center has to be strong before that person who has a strong center can capture the final reality. If your center itself is all over the place, there is lack of clarity, you get totally identified with the role, and all the challenges of the role become your challenges, and you lose your capacity to think clearly. How is that person going to recognize I am the whole? The person is all over the place. So the basic person meditation that Swamiji does. Many people are confused because they think basic person that he talks about is final truth. No. Still a relative person who has reduced one's pratibhasika and is more in touch with empirical. This is the basic person. Now, we don't even understand what basic person is, and we try to completely neutralize. Everything happens, and I'm basic person is empty. What is this empty basic person going to do? Remain empty. That basic person has things to do. Is placed in a unique situation. Has to figure out how to participate. Has to become a contributor. Has to take care of one's pressures and do what needs to be done. That is the basic person. The center becomes strong, not all over the place. And the center is connected to Ishvara. Sees oneself not as one isolated human being in this world, sees oneself as part of one grand order of things. And if you don't do what needs to be done, you disturb the whole ecology of things and also yourself. This is the view that you have of yourself. So all this is written in Upanishads. This is not what I'm saying. People say, oh, I feel as though the whole class you were talking to me, as though I had nothing else to do than to talk to you. What? I mean, people are just covered in their own world. And this is what Upanishad is talking about. I'm not just talking to you what I am. I'm not a psychotherapist. My job is to explain Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. But you feel I'm talking to you. Why? Because Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads talk to a human being. And all of us at times get identified. Yeah, what it is talking about is my lot. Wonderful. Yes, you are supposed to be that. But don't take everything personally. I'm not here to give you some personal whatever. If I have something to tell you, I will tell you personally. I will not use the class to give you some lecture. So what it means is everything is like this individual who's all fragile and insecure and all. Everything comes as though, oh my God, now teacher is telling me horrible things. What? This is a beautiful, that is an amazing video which I'm going to forward. This musician who passed away. There is an amazing video that somebody has put on our Vedanta family chat. Sandeep has put in Vedanta family chat. And he's being interviewed and he's a complete master. He's brilliant. Now, he says, when he was learning, look at this, he says, every student has to inspire the teacher. The teacher will teach. He said about his own life. The teacher made us to do Mandata, so they do tabla. They play. Now, there are 10 students and all of them are following the instruction of the teacher. Then he said, I always used to think, what twist can I give to this, which of course I'm doing what the teacher is doing, but I'm adding my own creativity to it. And the teacher notices me because I'm not just a puppet. That little adding of my own creativity, which shows my deep engagement. And what did he say? What does the teacher do then? Notices you. And he talks in his own language. And he says, he asks you to do something little more than that little more that you are doing. What have you done? By that little more that you have done, little more effort that you have put, you have inspired the teacher to give you that little more. This is how little more, you become a master. If you sit in the class like this and take everything as what the teacher is criticizing me and the teacher, what? Everything personally so fragile. What? Use this mind, which is an incredible, oh, I want good for this knowledge. What? You are being told, I am limitless, and you are saying, I'm not good enough. What it means is stretch yourself a little. Stretch yourself a little. It's impossible it's so difficult, not impossible, it's so difficult to find the teaching and the teacher. Make use of it. If you make that little effort, you cannot imagine how far you can go with the grace, because grace of Ishvara doesn't work in a linear way. It can make you make outcome jumps. But you have to engage, and you have to engage with the right attitude. You can tell yourself, thank God, finally I found the teaching that shows me my truth. And all these chapters that I have made, chapters after chapters, finally I have a direction in my life. Change your story. If you don't change your story, nobody can help you. There is a lovely story in Mahabharata. Brilliant story in Mahabharata. Draupadi and Krishna were best friends. They were young. Draupadi is a princess of Panchala Desha. Drupad is a very powerful king. But Draupadi is not dainty like some of the women are. She is a little big built and she is a little dark. So Draupadi, when she was young, kept telling herself, even though I'm a princess of this great king, but who will marry me? Because I'm not this beautiful, what generally all generally, this like thin and, slim and, whatever that you think that is attractive. And she tells Krishna is such a good friend of hers. So she one day confides in Krishna and she says, you know what, look at me. I'm like, on one hand, I'm a princess, but look, who will marry me? So I'll have to settle for some mediocre king. Or somebody who is looking for, somebody more powerful, some inferior. So this is what she is thinking about her future. And what does Krishna say to her? Draupadi, change your story. Look at me. He doesn't give her a bhashan. He says, look at me. I am not tall. I have a medium height. I am not fair. I am dark. This is in Indian standards, dark is not attractive. There is nothing about me which is so outstanding. But I think I am really cool. And as I think I'm cool and I believe in myself, everybody comes running to me. If you think you're nobody, who will be attracted to you? Tell me. You create a life of misery for yourself. The first thing that starts with, don't put yourself down. Then you put yourself so down, then you start projecting. Nobody is giving you importance. Nobody is giving you. Then that means you are caught in your own world. All this is mentioned in Upanishad. As long as you don't take care of these things, knowledge cannot sit on you. I am not giving you some bhajan. This is written here. So what does it mean? Some basic, then what happened to Draupadi is interesting. So what happened to Draupadi is, she started saying, then she started seeing herself as attractive. She had so many qualities. She started owning up all the things that she had. And she freed herself from this story of inadequacy. And in her Swayamvar, then when the time came for her marriage, who showed up? Who wanted to marry her? All the powerful, the most powerful kings, they wanted to marry her. And who did she get to marry? 5 most powerful men. She made her place. Change of story. Where did she start? Not with others, she started with herself. So, all this needs to be taken care of. Right? A miserable person cannot get to understand I'm limitless. It's not possible. A person who is feeling so limited within oneself. But that doesn't mean you're disqualified. What does it mean? You have to qualify. And small changes that you make in your own story over a period of time change you as a person. So you have to move towards the change. If you don't do it now, when will you do it? Sometime you have to do it. After 5 births, or after 10 births, or after 25 births. So why don't you do it now? now that you have been given that opportunity, start it. So this is something that we all have to start the journey. If you are constantly afraid to take the first step, nobody can help you. This is why Upanishads keep talking about qualifications. Keep coming back to God. After taking you to such height who you are, immediately your Purushartha Nishchaya. Immediately your qualifications. So, I will post this video. You have to see that how, he puts the onus of what inspiring the teacher on the student. And this is why there is a lovely sentence in Upanishad. The student goes to the teacher and says, Madartham Smara. Smara means you remember everything that you have studied. You may have studied the final knowledge, but you may be very clear about the final knowledge, and you don't see any need to even go and communicate to anybody. But I want to know this truth. But truth is not just you tell the final reality. You have to be led from where you are to that truth. So there is a whole methodology, sophisticated methodology, which you have to use very consciously and very deliberately to take the student from where they are to where Upanishads are trying to take. And you have to remember the whole methodology. So, Madartham Smara. What does it mean? For my sake, for leading me, may you remember not only, suppose you have already assimilated the truth, may you remember all the methodologies and explain it to me and show me the truth. And your kind of engagement, it's a dynamic, right? It's a teacher-student dynamic. That has to be kept alive. It needs feedback. It can't be like this. You go to a concert and you see a great artist play, and in the front row, suppose, some company who has sponsored the event, so they send their executives. Now the executives are not great musicians, so they just get, oh yeah, I love to go to this concert. Through the whole concert he's looking at mobile. Or it's like this. No, when the artist is reaching the peak, expressionless, movementless, like this. The artist is still a great artist. It will still play well. But imagine if you have a person who recognizes the raga, who gives the right feedback, whose eyes shine, whose face lights up with these melodies which are reaching certain peak. What will the artist do? This is how it is. So, now, here, let's come back. So, who has mastery over the senses, and the one who does not have mastery over the mind. So, two things. What is the difference between not having mastery over senses and mastery over the mind? What is the difference?
Senses always come from outside, and you can't master it.
Yeah, and loudly, because what you have to say is important. It is not important.
Mastery over the senses is when, for example, when we as a German come to India and all the things are going around and we lose our concentration because from everywhere is coming noise and something you can see and smell and you are lost in it. This is what I would say mastery of the senses, and mastery of the mind is that I'm the master of what is going on. Means, for example, when the thoughts come in, that I'm able to realize what's coming in, what do I want to do with it, how will I have to react.
Good, right? So mastery over the sense is good. The mastery over senses means that the world is constantly, you can't close your eyes, you can't close your ears, you can't close your nose. So the world is constantly giving you inputs. But what input and what to emphasize, where do you want to place yourself? It's all right now in one city. So many events are going on, a pop event and a classical dance or a museum or wherever. Where do you take yourself? Because senses will report, but where you take yourself is going to decide what the senses are exposed to. So what it means is that the senses input, like you place yourself in a place which is encouraging, right? Treat yourself to things which are inspiring. What about mastery over the mind? Your mind has many different thoughts. Your ability to recognize which of these thoughts are nourishing, which of these thoughts only increase my burden, and to cultivate those nourishing thoughts and to handle those thoughts which keep you in this place of darkness. This otherwise is an addiction. It's almost like an addiction. Mind keeps going to problems and problematic things. It doesn't just allow itself to enjoy, and that's why everything becomes heavy. That lightness goes away. What does it mean? That if you are making your own life heavy through your thought processes, change your thought processes. Not start building some imagination, but the same realities can be looked in a nourishing manner. Either you can pray to Ishvara and say, Ishvara, enough of all these, one problem after the other. It's unending. Or you can tell Ishvara, you are saying the same thing, but just a language has to. Whatever comes to me, give me the ability to deal with it with a certain objectivity. Change of language. One is everything is too much. I have no respect. Heavy, dark. The other is lighter. I know everything can't happen. Like Dharma Phalakya. If I haven't done everything right, if nobody else is doing everything right, I can't magically expect everything to be wonderful. It's not possible. But whatever comes, give me the capacity to handle it with grace, finesse, intelligence, alertness. Beautiful, elegant. Use elegant language for yourself. Use inspiring language for yourself. Don't use the language which dampens your spirit and makes everything heavy. All these are small things that you have to learn. You will give, it's not for me, you will give yourself so much freedom. your life will become so much lighter. Your life will become so much more enjoyable. This is what you have to treat yourself to. Yeah, Otto.
Even while being here now, there's always so many thoughts in my mind, so many activities, and it is not all nourishing thoughts.
Nourishing thoughts?
Nourishing thoughts.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but so much that hardly I can listen to you.
Super. He's so sweet. Otto is a sweet person. So, I mean, all the temples we were going, perhaps he was a little tired. I asked Otto, do you want to go home? He's so smiley. And he said, no, it's okay, I can go and visit one more temple. He's so sweet. I said, I love it so very. Then somebody he heard that the car was going and perhaps he preferred to go. So he said, no, I'll go. But no complaint in him. Then he went for a walk. Last night, he comes home at 10:30. I said, Otto, where did you go? So Otto went for a walk. And then he says, yesterday he tells me, Neema, you have all these audio recording, but your facial expressions are so wonderful. People have to see it. Why don't you do little videos also? He's always coming up with things and always beautiful thoughts and nourishing thoughts and how to move forward and how to give this knowledge to others and how he can share wonderful thoughts. He's cultivating those thoughts.
It's also an addiction. Addiction because there's no tranquility in my mind.
That's okay, but at least what happens is you are looking at life with a certain optimism, with certain enthusiasm, certain cheerfulness. This is what in Bhagavad Gita it is said. Who is this person who brings Ishvara in your life? This is the person, a cheerful person. It's still a relative person. Still a relative person because you are still a person who's cheerful, who's enthusiastic, who's not always seeing problems, who begins to feel joy in life. Brings smile on your face. Doesn't cost anything, but it just lights up everything.
Isn't mastering the mind,
This is mastering the mind.
but I'm aware that my mind is very artistic.
Please don't give these kind of terminology. My mind is rajasic. What does it mean? We use, this is the problem with technical words. Nobody totally understands what it means. And we start using these words in common parlance as though it is, what does rajasic mind mean? What does it mean? What does it mean to you?
Too many thoughts.
Too many thoughts is wonderful. Tell me who. Please understand. The mind is Ishvara's creation. Look at this. Otto, listen to me carefully. If my mind doesn't have too many thoughts, I start a sentence. I am going to, not too many thoughts, you have to calm your mind. Who will have patience? Mind is supposed to think. This is what also Swamiji used to say that, you just kind of, this, even, oh, it's only 3 matra. Om, Om, Om. If I say Om, Do, in singing maybe it's okay, but in my normal language, I mean, we are all imagining things. Mind is given for you to think. And thinking, it will think, and it has to keep thinking. Imagine if you were not thinking, by the time I speak first sentence and your mind is taking half an hour to process it, all the other sentences that I have spoken in this half an hour will be missed by you. Mind has to move fast. It doesn't become Rajasic mind. I mean, what are we talking about? All this terminology, please, you only use this terminology to give yourself a hard time. Don't do that. What does the terminology mean? That itself is not clear. Then you use this terminology to make your life so unrealistic and have guilt. Not needed. Mind has to move. It cannot be like pause. What is mastery of the mind? See the quality of your thoughts. The quantity is okay. If the quantity will remain approximately 60,000 for everyone per day. But what are those thoughts that makes you sattvic or tamasic or rajasic? Are they nourishing thoughts? Are they putting you in just some entanglement, or they are making you be not interested, dissatisfied? The quality of thought decides whether you are sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. It is not that you think, don't make it problematic. It is required. That you have many thoughts is required. Otherwise, you won't be able to function in this world. So what does it mean? This terminology, and somebody, I'm like, what are they talking about? They are telling, they don't hardly know Swamiji. Swamiji is Rajasic. Why is Swamiji Rajasic? Oh, because he was very active and he was going around the world. That doesn't make you Rajasic. Was he going around the world to just hoard money for himself or for his power? He was going around the world, like this girl said yesterday. He had only one goal in life, and that is how to make this knowledge available to as many people as possible, for which he made tireless efforts. Does it make him Rajasic? Makes him the most sattvic person. The activity is not, oh, he is very active. So what? You sit in one place, you are good for nothing. Oh, you are sattvic because there is no activity. What? You are lazy. You are good for nothing. You are disenchanted with the world. And you sit in, oh, I'm spiritual now. And that makes you sattvic?
Rajas is also needed for work.
Rajas is needed, but predominantly is sattvic, backed by Rajas. Everything needs to be relearned because we haven't learned anything properly. If you're chased, if you're feeling guilty about having a sharp mind, Ishvara will say, okay, make your mind dull. Think like, all slow, hardly any thoughts. because you asked for it. Because you are on your own trip of being wanting to be sattvic. And the meaning of what you think is sattvic. If the sharpness of the mind and if its ability to be agile goes away, we ourselves will crack. So ask for intelligent things. See the fact that you have nourishing thoughts as not a problem, as a privilege. It's very important. Really, it is very important. If they are nourishing thoughts, if they help you in the mind, what makes human mind, right? The greatest gift is its ability to process things, advanced. If you abort it and think that aborting that process is making you sattvic, no. You let them shine. You build on them. You make them shine. You are in flow with Ishvara. Nourishing thoughts are the most beautiful gift you can give yourself. Don't be shy, don't feel guilty about it. Very, very important. So, okay, now, Ashanta Manasaha, the one who is not resolved. So all this work needs to be done before one gets knowledge. Now, let me move a little bit forward. I have half an hour and I have quite a few verses to do. Okay. Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi, Shariram Ratham Evatu, Buddhirtu Sarathim Vidhi, Mana Pragraham Evacha, Indriyani Hayan Ahuhu, Vishya Teshu Gochara, Atma Indriya Mano Yuktam, Bhokta Iti Ahuhu Manishina. Vijnana, I will just do one and the second together because it goes together. Vijnana Sarathe Yastu, Mana Pragraha Vanaraha, Saha Advanaha Param Apnoti, Tat Vishnoho Paramam Param. Who wants to read the two verses together?
Know the Jiva as the Lord of the chariot, the physical body as the chariot. Know the intellect to be the chariot driver and the mind to be the reins. The sense organs, they say, are the horses. The objects of sense, the path. The wise men say that the Jiva, along with the body, sense organs and the mind, is the experiencer, enjoyer.
Okay, that's the next one.
That person who has a discriminative intellect as chariot driver and who has a disciplined mind as the reins reaches the end of the journey. It is the supreme abode of Brahman.
Okay, so in this is a very famous imagery which is used in Kathopanishad. And that is, this body and mind, so which we think that is I am, is now said to be a chariot. We will see that this is something which is very important. So an imagery is used, and what is the imagery? The imagery is is that of a chariot. Then the chariot, which is a physical chariot, has horses which are driving the chariot. These are the reins. Then there is a charioteer. Okay? And then, so, now this chariot is equal to body. The horses which drive the chariot are the senses. Who drives the chariot? The charioteer. And who drives the body? The buddhi, where you make decisions, right? The nishchayatmika buddhi. So what does it mean? Your intellect. Because you make decisions and then it decides where the chariot goes. And what is the connecting link? Who connects you to the senses? Before the senses, they first, what do? They report to the mind, and then the mind creates option, and then the buddhi decides which of the option I'm going to go with. So the mind are the reins which are connecting the charioteer to the senses. Do you understand this imagery? And then, who are you? In this analogy, who are you? Are you the Sarathi, charioteer? You are, what it says is, owner of this whole thing. So what does it mean? You are a jiva, an individual. This jiva gets this chariot, this senses, this set of mind, this set of buddhi in this lifetime. You are given. You come to this earth with a set of body, with senses, with mind, with intellect. And you have to figure out in this lifetime what do you want. What is given to you? Different objects are also given to you in the world. So a jiva, which is a perennial traveler, comes to this earth with a given apparatus and has to decide where you want to go, what you want to do. If the charioteer has no idea as to where one wants to go, what will happen? What will happen? Not difficult. What will happen?
Horses going here.
Yeah. The horses run the show. Why do horses run the show? The horses are attracted by these millions of objects that are given. 1 minute this is the fancy for the horse, next minute this is the fancy for the horse, and the horses keep having fancies. The charioteer has no idea where to go. Where will the mind keep going? And where do you keep going from one form of enjoyment to the other? The horses, the senses report the objects, the mind is impulsive, the buddhi has no idea where it wants to go, Life goes in, roaming around from one experience to the other. Whole life is wasted. For whom? For this Jiva, who is called the enjoyer. The doer and the enjoyer, because the doer has unseen results in one's account, and in order to experience the unseen result, the person needs this setup. Otherwise, you cannot experience anything. But what is also given to you as an enjoyer is to, in any one given lifetime, figure out the real goal. That also you can. Either you can, this is what this falls within Artha and Kama. And little bit, if your chariot here is a little skill, it will also bring little bit of dharma. But in one lifetime, keeping this apparatus, you figure out, who figures out here? Who figures out that I want moksha? This is an unedified, let the horses run the show. I'm going in circles. The intellect. The intellect in one lifetime figures this out. It's not Jiva. Why? Jiva has been given this faculty, infrastructure to conduct oneself in one life. So it's not the Jiva who decides. Jiva is endowed with this. So what? The charioteer, the buddhi will decide in one lifetime, because that's the faculty that is given to you. If you then decide, only rarely somebody says, this puts me in a perennial going here, going there, going here, it's endless. I want moksha. Suppose you decide, I want moksha. What does it, the charioteer still has to, as though, take you to the destination? How? The buddhi has to abide in the truth. How? What does the charioteer have to do?
Master the mind to understand what is going on, to understand the senses, the thoughts, emotions.
You cannot, this apparatus is very important. If you start by saying, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the buddhi, this is the one which is given to you, to take you here. You have to use it intelligently. This is why if the mind is not active, the mind is like dull, it is hardly thinking. How will it take you there? What does it mean? You have to use all of this. Even though this is not who you are, you have to use the body, you have to use the senses, you have to use the mind and buddhi to get to your true nature. That's why the fact that you are a managing trustee is a very, very important fact. It's given to you, and where it can take you is to your own limitlessness. Don't waste it away. Now, in order for the minute the charioteer has a direction, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go. That's why discriminative intellect, the chariot driver. Now, if he knows, then he will use the reins so that the horses don't run the show, but the very horses are used to take to the final destination. So what does it mean? Body is useful, senses are useful, mind is useful, buddhi is useful, but it has to be used in an intelligent manner so that you can accomplish this task in human birth and discover your true nature. So, what is important, what is critical here is buddhi. But the jiva, so if jiva misses the chance, this whole life has only gone in running after the senses. What will happen? The jiva, that whatever unseen result will go here and then give you yet another body. Now, let's see what you want to do with this new body. Ishvara has infinite patience. Will keep giving you all this to run and see where you want to go and help you to go there. Until in one lifetime you find out that this keeps me entangled. I need to discover exactly, am I just this enjoyer and doer who keeps coming back, or am I something more than that? That was Nachiketa's question. Right? So this is the whole imagery that is given. So this is why Manushya Janma is very important. So they say in the tradition that three things, if you have a lot of grace from Ishvara. Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, and Mahapurusha Samshaya. Ashraya or Samshaya. Both So what does it mean? Manushyatvam means not every chariot and buddhi has the capacity. What does it mean? If you are born as a bird, if you are born as an animal, you have a body and you have some mind and intellect. You have. But it is not, and it is intelligent. It's not. Why? Because they are all manifestation of Ishvara. So they show some incredible intelligence, but it is not enough to figure out and answer the question, who am I? They are the range. Within that range, they are smart. So the birds know when to migrate, when to come back. This is all because they are manifestation of Ishvara. But they can't have the question, what is my true nature? That capacity is not given with that particular buddhi. So, but the human mind is given. So Manushya mind, it's a special body, it's a special intellect which is capable of solving complex problems externally about the world. What is the nature of the world? How big is the universe? When did the universe start? All these questions. What is the purpose of my life? All that others don't ask, human beings ask. So Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam. Within that Manushya, so many possibilities are given to you, for you. The whole world is there. You have to decide where you want to go, what you want to accomplish. If you choose Mumukshutvam, that no matter where I go and what I accomplish, I'm still stuck with the problem. And what is this? I'm small and I'm limited. And what I actually want, my underlying search is to see myself as free from limitation. Behind everything that I do, what I really want is not that thing. What I want is freedom from smallness or inadequacy. That's my real basic search. And then this is not giving me the looking for that. That is, see, if you end there, that I have this basic search for freedom, and none of the things that I engage in are going to give me what I'm looking for. If you end there, life becomes depressive, futile. No, but this is why it's intelligent. What is intelligent? If this doesn't give me, what will give me? No more questions. I need to figure it out. Because every complex problem in the world comes with a solution. So I have to look for the solution at the right place. That is the challenge, you have to figure it out. So what does it mean? The only way, the world is limited. And if I'm limited, any addition of limited, everything is going to remain limited. I can't change the nature of the world because it is within time, space and time and space. So I can't change the fact that it is not limited. The only place that I can perhaps solve the problem is in I am. Am I seeing myself accurately or not? And Shastra tells me, hey, you are limitless, you are Brahman. Choose to listen to it. The buddhi has to decide. So, the key is the buddhi. Once the buddhi knows where to go, it will begin to manage the horses. It doesn't have to give up the horses. It will manage the mind. And it will manage the chariot so that it can go where it has to go. The life gains its direction. Life gains a purpose. You don't waste away this body. Mumukshutva. But once you have mumukshutva, how will you know yourself? All the means of knowledge that you have will only make you see the objects. It will not make you see what is the nature of I am. How will you correct? How will you look into? You don't even have any method to look into the nature of I am. Which method are you going to use? The senses report objects. The inference makes that reporting little more accurate. So what it means is you need a teacher who will show you your truth. And if you find that teacher who can show you your truth, then there is some Ishvara in your life. This is why last time, and both that Swami and that Swamini, she says the fact that we were born, then Swamiji was on this earth. And the fact that somehow we got to meet him. What is the chance in terms of statistics? What is the probability? How many human beings are on this earth all at the same time? Statistically, what is the possibility that you meet any one given person? Very insignificant. Then you meet him and then you decide to, she was saying 18 hours. I don't know if it's 18 hours, but definitely the day is very full. That is absolutely true. And day after day, after day, after day, without any break. That you were able to live with a Mahatma like that, and to learn, and to go through what was like a brain surgery to actually see the truth, is extraordinary. You can't take it for granted. Really you can't. Mahapurusha Samshaya. If these three things happen in your life, you definitely have Ishvara. And don't spoil it. by saying I'm not good enough. Doesn't go with this incredible story. Upanishads tell you this happens to a very rare human being. And what is your story? Oh yeah, maybe this is not for me then. That's why use your buddhi, use your mind, use your body. Don't make your buddhi dull by saying if my buddhi have thoughts, that means it is rajasic. Thoughts are necessary. How will you capture this knowledge unless you have precise thoughts? A slow, non-thinking person can't get it. And nourish the person whose thought life is nourished. The persons whose thoughts are precise. The person whose thoughts are in keeping with reality. That person will get it. It's like Swamiji used to say that you have a hand and suppose it pains. Do you cut the hand? It's a pain. Oh, if I cut the hand, there is no possibility of pain. If you have wrong thinking, stopping to think is not the solution. What is the solution? Think right is the solution. If your thoughts give you dark picture, you don't stop those thoughts. You convert those thoughts which give you dark picture to thoughts which give you possibilities and opportunities. Because this is Ishvara Srishti. Ishvara Srishti is full of potentials and opportunities for you to collapse. You have to change the nature of your thoughts. You don't have to stop thinking. Thinking is the greatest. That's the greatest blessing that is given to you. Mind is the place where knowledge takes place. You need a sharp, accurate, objective, cheerful mind, which is able to process the words and give the right meaning. So, this is why the minute the Sarathi knows the whole and starts using this whole body and mind effectively, you will have with the help of a teacher. Let's move. Oh, it's almost time. I will move. You had a question?
No, it's fine. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnama